my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest.
Volothamp Geddarm, also known as Volo, is a notorious raconteur, bombastic traveller, erudite, and wizard known for his tavern reviews and quintessential lore guides. He is perhaps the most distinguished writer on the Sword Coast and self-proclaimed celebrity. A human with linguistic abilities in Dwarvish, Elvish and Common Tongue, he can often be found delivering signed copies of his latest books or otherwise promoting his work. His penchant for indulgence and propensity for mockery has earned Volo a few enemies, and thus he often outstays his welcome. At one point, Volo was trapped by an imprisonment spell for almost a century. Volo has appeared in previous Baldur's Gate games and in Neverwinter Nights.
Greetings, kind readers. I must congratulate you on your impeccable taste in acquiring this volume. Clearly you have an eye for quality, even if you are somehow not familiar with the name Volothamp Geddarm. Though it has been some time since I delivered to you my last guide, fault entirely lies with my old friend and editor Elminster, who deemed my complete guide to the behavior of nymphs too naughty for print. I feel this tale you hold before you now perhaps my most important work yet. It began as I was journeying on the noble ship the Vigilant, traveling from the Sword Coast to the distant and exotic land of Samarak. A great storm began to gather. Captain Lastry assured the passengers that this storm was no match for the stalwart Vigilant. But Lastry's confidence evaporated when her second mate took the ship's wheel and cried out that it would not return. The captain herself tried vainly to right the error, but the storm threw her aside, knocking her unconscious. At the same time, a cry of terror sounded out as a sailor fell from the rigging into the frothing sea, and the shout of a leak came from below decks. It seemed certain that the Vigilant had been sabotaged, its rudder broken, its rigging shredded, its hull cracked. Helpless to turn against the grip of the storm, the vessel raced headlong toward the jagged coast of Samarak. Desperate to survive the looming fatal impact, the crew of the once proud Vigilant now scrambled to escape the doomed ship. I found myself on a lifeboat shortly after the incident, and in the chaos, the world went dark. When I woke again, it was on the sandy shores of Samarak, and the beginning of a new adventure.
The character was created by Jeff Grubb, albeit he was used by Ed Greenwood in writing the lore guides from Volo's perspective. While well known as a character, details on the man himself tend to be rather elusive. That said, in his magnum opus, Volo's Guide to Monsters, Wizards of the Coast did hide some lore in the book's disclaimer. Do not trust Volo. Do not go on quests offered by Volo. Do not listen to Volo. Avoid being seen with him for risk of guilt by association. If Volo appears in your game, your DM is undoubtedly trying to kill your character in a manner that can be blamed on your own actions. The DM is probably trying to do that anyway, but with Volo's appearance, you know for sure. We're not convinced that Elminster's commentary is all that trustworthy either, but he turned us into flumps the last time we mentioned him in one of these disclaimers. How delightful.
I have been talking to the fearsome individuals you see around the compound here. They have been telling me about the frightful monsters that lurk in the jungle. To be honest, some of them sound a little far-fetched, but these hunters seem serious. The hunters trade in trophies from mighty beasts and monsters. If you collect items they need, you could probably hunt some of these creatures too. If you do, be sure to keep me informed. If even some of them are great material for a chapter in my book.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.